hate being perceived. I hate coming outside. I don't want to party. I don't want anybody to even look at me, honestly. I don't want to take pictures. I hate being on video. It's the bane of my existence. It makes me really, really uncomfortable. I never wanted to do music. I never attached it with, doing music seemed like a job, like a burden that would remove the joy of listening. Like, I don't listen to music anymore. Doing everything wrong is like, I guess, part of just who I am and how I got here. Being a person is so daunting, and like being your own skin and the whole sheboygan, and like just the freedom of yeah, I just, for no other reason, I just tired of being not a bug.
SZA is one of the most paradoxical artists of our generation. She sings about insecurity, but she looks like a goddess on every red carpet. She writes lyrics that sound like diary entries, but somehow they turn into anthems. She's awkward in interviews.
I have no idea how or why I got involved.
Unsure of herself in public.
For me.
But when she performs, it's like she's never questioned a thing in her life. There's something magnetic about SZA's contradictions. She's not trying to be mysterious, she's just trying to be honest, and sometimes honesty looks like confusion or oversharing.
The internet scares me. Thanks.
And in an industry that thrives on control and perfection, SZA built a career on emotional chaos, on softness, on saying the things most people are too embarrassed to admit, and that kind of honesty is what makes her the icon she is. Hello everybody, it's Nessi. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, we're breaking down the emotional universe that SZA created, the version of her that lives in the music, the version that lives on social media, and what it means when vulnerability itself becomes a brand. So without further ado, let's dive in. In 2017, SZA released Ctrl, and it wasn't just an album, it was a shift. For years, women in R&B were expected to be polished, sensual, confident. Think Beyonce, Aaliyah, even Rihanna, powerful women singing powerful songs. But SZA flipped the script.
I say the sound of my music is just kind of like enjoyable. Like, it's just kind of groovy. I don't really know like what the genre is.
On Ctrl, she wasn't flawless, she was insecure. She wasn't over her ex, she was stalking him. She wasn't the girl who got chosen, she was the other woman. And she wasn't ashamed of it, she was honest about it. The album opens with Supermodel.
Leave me lonely for prettier women. You know I need too much attention.
I was just writing about this particular boy. I really liked him. He was low-key like trash to me, but I really liked his like validation.
And that sets the tone for everything that follows. What made Ctrl so special wasn't just the subject matter, it was how she delivered it. Take Drew Barrymore for example, which is actually my favorite song from the album. I relate to this song so much. It's about feeling undesirable, invisible, and completely out of control. She literally asks,
Am I warm enough for you outside, baby?
that's not a lyric, that's a text message you delete before sending. Or Normal Girl, a brutally honest confession that says,
Shop was the type of girl that you take over to mama. The type of girl I know my daddy, he'd be proud of.
and then there is The Weeknd, probably the most misunderstood anthem of all time. People dance to it like it was a flex. It's actually not. It's literally a song about settling for shared attention because you would rather have some love than no love at all.
Knowing I'm desperate, getting on in and left, falling all over love.
What I'm actually saying in the song is my man is your man. like we all share the same dude, saying that I'm aware, I don't care, I'm not trying to I don't need to be his girl. Not even saying that you're his girl, saying that none of us are his girl. All of us are just out here trying to get different things for different reasons.
But Control didn't feel sad for the sake of being sad. It felt honest. Like when you tell your friends you're fine, but you're secretly listening to 20-something on loop and wondering if you peaked at 22. That's why it resonated, because SZA didn't talk at her listeners, she talked like them.
Like deeply iconic, and I was like, yes, this is the honesty we're missing from the world.
Her songs were full of contradictions, confident but nerdy, sensual but self-conscious, self-aware but still a little delusional, and all of this was wrapped in a sonic atmosphere that sounded like you're floating through your dreams. And Control didn't just put SZA on the map, it drew a new one. One where women could be imperfect, complicated, jealous, confused, selfish, vulnerable, and still be worthy of love. It gave people permission to feel what they were already feeling but didn't have the language for. That's the power of vulnerability. Not just saying I'm sad, but saying I'm sad but kind of okay with it. And that was something nobody else was doing like SZA.
There's no metaphors about the that I used to mess with. It's just like I'm speaking directly about that I messed with. I'm irritated. Everyone can know.
So yeah, Control is a classic, not because it was flawless, but because it wasn't trying to be. Here's something that doesn't get talked about a lot. SZA is famous, but she doesn't act famous. She's awkward, she rambles in interviews, she shows up on Instagram Live with no makeup, half a sentence, and a full plate of food. She once told Apple Music she finished SOS in Hawaii while crying into a pineapple smoothie. That's not a celebrity anecdote, that's basically a diary entry.
I've always been delusional, yes. And it has led me to great heights and very low lows.
And that's kind of the point. SZA has always resisted the image polishing machine of celebrity culture, while other artists are out here debuting Met Gala gowns and giving Vogue exclusives. SZA was tweeting things like this. Her fans don't see her as a brand, they see her as a person who accidentally got really good at music and now is trying to deal with it. And that's where things get interesting, because when someone is that unfiltered online, you're expected to hurt their image, but for SZA, it did the opposite. It made her untouchable in a weird way because her relatability is the brand.
Doing everything wrong is the key to innovation. It's about choosing to be an individual by, allowing yourself to fail in front of others, which is so embarrassing.
Let's talk about the difference between vulnerability and authenticity. Vulnerability is showing emotion. Authenticity is when people believe it's real. SZA mastered both because she's open about her awkwardness, her anxiety, her doubts. Fans trust her, and in a time when most celebrities are building walls, SZA leaves the door cracked open just enough for people to peek in and relate. But here's the thing, when your entire appeal is based on being real, people start expecting access, emotional access, digital access, and when you don't deliver, they notice. That's the downside of being seen as relatable. The more you share, the more people assume they know you, and when you contradict yourself, people call you fake. When you disappear, people feel abandoned, and when you try to reclaim privacy, people take it personally because fans aren't just listening to the music, they're projecting themselves onto the persona. So no, SZA doesn't act like a celebrity, but that doesn't mean she isn't treated like one. She lives in this weird middle zone where she's simultaneously too famous to be just a girl on the internet and too emotionally honest to be a traditional pop star, which is exactly why people love her, because SZA isn't here to sell you a fantasy. She's here to tell you she blocked her ex, then unblocked him 5 minutes later, and now she's spiraling in the group chat. That's not celebrity behavior, that's human behavior, and that's what makes her one of the most compelling artists of our generation. In 2022, SZA dropped SOS, and if Control was the warm emotional breakdown you had in your bedroom, SOS was the loud, chaotic text you sent to your ex at 3 a.m. This album wasn't just emotional, it was weaponized emotion, and that's what made it so brilliant.
There's a line on my album that's like, now that I've ruined everything, I'm so free. And it's like that. It's like I've either crashed and burned this entire situation or like done a not so bad job.
Control was all about insecurity, but SOS was about knowing exactly what you're worth and still spiraling anyway, because self-awareness doesn't stop the pain, it just makes it louder. On SOS, SZA evolved, but she didn't glow up in the traditional sense. She got messier, she leaned into her contradictions. She was singing about murdering her ex on one track and crying about not being over him on the next. She's confident, then desperate, sexy, then self-loathing. 1 minute she's talking trash and the next she's begging someone to stay. It's basically whiplash, because that's what real heartbreak looks like. It's not linear, it doesn't care about your dignity, and that's the thing SZA captures so perfectly in SOS. The fact that healing is not always cute, sometimes it's humiliating.
I don't want righteousness, I hurt too much, I lost too much, I lost too much.
But it wasn't just the lyrics, it was the whole sound of the album. On Control, SZA stayed mostly in her neo-soul, alt R&B lane, but in SOS, she broke the genre. Pop, grunge, trap, acoustic, you name it, it's there. She went from singing like a fairy on Gone Girl to full pop punk on F2F, that genre hopping didn't feel like a gimmick, it felt like a reflection of her emotional state, because when you're spiraling, you don't stay in one mood. You go from dancing to crying to talking trash to writing poems and back to dancing.
I wrote this song about my ex-fiance. We are literally on no contact.
This was a woman who had clearly grown but refused to perform perfection, and that was powerful because in an industry obsessed with clean narratives and redemption arcs, it's so refreshing to see SZA thrive in her own world without conforming to industry standards. And in doing that, SZA didn't just own her vulnerability, she turned it into power, because when you can admit you're a mess and still get platinum plaques for it, that's when you know you've won. Alright, so let's talk about the part no one really wants to talk about. When your entire brand is built on being real, being messy, being vulnerable, what happens when people stop seeing that as relatable and start seeing it as calculated? Because SZA's been accused of everything from lying about her body, to fabricating part of her past, to exaggerating her pain for attention. Vulnerability has its purpose, works, but it also has a price. One example of this is the whole BBL situation. Fans speculated for months that SZA got surgery based on new photos, body changes, and well, the internet being the internet. Then she drops SOS and basically confirms it in the most SZA way possible.
So classic that ass so fat it look natural, it's not.
Some fans were like, yes, body autonomy, honesty, growth. Others, not so much. They said she was fake for hiding it, fake for not saying it sooner, fake for acting like she was all about self-love when she clearly changed herself. And that right there, that's the trap of being relatable. When people feel close to you, they start to think you owe them explanations, not just for your music, but for your life. It doesn't take much, one contradicting quote, one deleted tweet, one vague comment in an interview. Suddenly, the same audience that cried to 20-something is in the comments calling you fake deep.
The craziest conspiracy theory about SZA is that we don't know much about who she truly is or her real life because she's a pathological liar.
And here's the wild part, most of the things people criticize her for are things normal people do all the time. We change our minds, we overshare, we backtrack, we post and delete. But when SZA does it, it's branding, it's manipulation, because once someone sees you as a symbol for something, you're not a person anymore, you're basically a mirror. And when that mirror doesn't reflect what they want, they feel betrayed. Being known for your vulnerability means constantly reliving it. Every interview wants you to open up. Every fan wants more sad girl anthems. Every album drop turns into a therapy session for millions of strangers. And when she doesn't give that, people act like she's losing her magic. But what if she's just growing? What if she's just tired of bleeding publicly just to keep people emotionally fed?
People think I'm just like a sad girl, like, or something all the time, but I'm not. It's just like, that's the part that I be writing about so I can like not be a sad girl, so I can process my emotions and move forward.
That's the dilemma. When you give people your rawness, they expect it forever, and healing doesn't always fit the aesthetic. So SZA is now in that strange, uncomfortable space where she's trying to evolve, but everyone wants the old version of her pain. But still, the fact that SZA can be this honest and still be this successful is kind of amazing. She's proved that you don't have to be perfect to be powerful, you just have to be real. As cheesy as it is, you just have to be yourself. That's it for today's video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for staying till the end. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this one. And please let me know your thoughts in the comments. What's your favorite SZA song and why is it your favorite? Like I said before, my favorite is Drew Barrymore. I love this song so much. I listen to it like 5 times a day. It's like SZA is reading my diary. But let me know yours, I would love to know. And with that being said, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you very soon.